and says that emphasizing that the United Nations has an important and continuing role to play in promoting and protecting of the rights of indigenous people. Article 4 says indigenous peoples in exercising their right to self-determination have the right to autonomy and self-government. Did you know you have a right to do that they cannot infringe upon? Let's move on. Indigenous peoples have the right to maintain and strengthen their district, political, legal, economic, social, and cultural institutions. Article 6 says every indigenous individual has a right to a nationality, which is very important because half of us don't even know what the hell our nationality is. You don't know. There's a schism in regards to that. But I will show you that the UN has actually declared what our nationality is. And if we appeal to it, we have access to all of these rights uninfringed. Did y'all know that? They actually label us, and it's not black. It's not black. We call ourselves black, indigenously internal, but they don't label us as that. Because once you have knowledge of this, now when you take tests and fill out paperwork and stuff, you don't have to check black. Because when you check black, automatically they're going to create a roadblock for your success. But there's something else that you can put down on here that's indigenous to your African roots that you can appeal to and they cannot infringe upon. Are y'all digging me? I'm going to show you that stuff. Have your pens and papers ready. We ain't playing. It says here, Article 8, indigenous peoples and individuals have the right not to be subjected to forced assimilation or destruction of their culture. Integration has killed the hell out of us. I'm going to say this again. Integration has killed the hell out of us. And all of us are fighting to be equal for what? For what? We calling ourselves a race. Who the hell are we in competition with? And we're superior, we original. Why are we competing with somebody who's not superior and original? Why? All we gotta do is establish who we are, and if we're consistent and committed, they have to respect it. Are y'all feeling me? That's power. You can show up someplace and not say a word, and people can feel that on. Like, damn, they got power right there. That's what the Black Panthers did. That's what Marcus Garvey did. We gotta formulate the same thing. All the things that he was fighting to do, all the hard work he put in, they're actually recognizing some of that and giving us a remedy and a recourse. Let's move forward. Indigenous people have the right to practice and revitalize their cultural traditions and customs. Indigenous people have the right to manifest, practice, develop, and teach their spiritual and religious traditions, customs, and ceremonies, and have the right to maintain it. Let's keep moving. Indigenous people have the right to revitalize, use, develop, and transmit to future generations their histories, languages, oral traditions, philosophies, writing systems, and literatures. Did you know that they have a school book out right now where they're saying that the so-called Africans that was brought here to work on the plantations were migrant workers? Any of y'all seen that textbook that's out there for your kids in grade school? But now you're giving a remedy to protect and securitize the fact that that wasn't no damn migrant workers that came here to work. What was in Africa raising their damn hands? I'm gonna go to a foreign land where I can't have my diet, I can't have the UV index of the sun that I get each and every day, I can't see my family, I can't build my own homes, I can't have my own car. Who the hell is gonna sign up for that? You? Come on, man. Let's work. Indigenous peoples have the right without discrimination to the improvement of their economic and social conditions, which we face each and every day. But we don't realize that they are giving us a remedy to fix our community. Okay, let's move on. Military activities shall not take place in the land or territories of indigenous people. But yet we let these white police officers police our community, shoot down our kids. And what we gonna do? Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't shoot. That's what we do. We don't have any standing militia to protect our children and our community. When we don't police our neighborhoods, they're going to do it for us. When was the last time a police officer showed up to a crime, and then we had our own police force from our own indigenous community show up with them and say, officer, you don't need to deal with this, we got this. How many of you are organized like that in here? Raise your hand. You get in there, right? But that should be the goal. Every day we should get progress to that destination. Are y'all following me? They're not allowed to militaristically But we're not saying nothing. Hands up, don't shoot. Hands up, don't shoot. Alright. Indigenous people have the right to determine and develop priorities and strategies for the development or use of their lands or territories or others. States shall establish and implement in conjunction with indigenous peoples a fair, independent, impartial, open, and transparent process giving due recognition to indigenous peoples' laws, traditions, and customs. Let me move forward. Y'all can read the rest of this when you get home. Alright? Because I'm limited on time. But I'm going to get to something for you real quick. Here's another article that you can download online called Making the Declaration Work to show you how the UN is giving initiatives to various states that are party to the UN on how to implement this in their countries. And let me show y'all what was given or created for us based on Pan-Africanism that most of us don't realize. Did you know that all of the Pan-African movements that have been destroyed by COINTELPRO, that the actual governments of the world stated, and they actually admitted to these atrocities, not publicly, admitted to these atrocities, and because of the outcry of various Pan-Africanists who actually went and lobbied at the UN actually established a precedent that we all can appeal to in regards to our nationality. Because as black people, there's so many factions in the conscious community. Nobody knows what the hell our nationality are. If they do, you're going to disagree with another brother who said, this is my nationality, oh, this is my nationality. That's fine and dandy. We can argue that amongst ourselves, but to move collectively, we have to agree on something. Are y'all feeling me? That's the purpose of the RBG, collectively, cohesively, as one organism, one body, we have to agree on something. And you know what's funny? Because we didn't agree on something, the UN agreed on something for us. And it's there to help us. And I'm showing you, you're going to be like, what is it to help us? Let me put y'all on the game. Y'all can read this article when you get home. But let me show y'all something. UN resolution regarding peoples of what?
African descent.
I'm going to say that again. The UN resolution regarding peoples of what?
African descent.
That's our nationality according to the UN. African descent. Now who the hell in here is going to disagree with that? Raise your hand. How many of y'all not from Africa? How many of y'all not from Africa? Raise your hand. Oh, you're not from Africa, brother?
I am South Indian.
Oh, you're Indian? Gotcha. Okay, so you're the exception. We're going to leave you out just with this. Who else ain't from Africa here? Who ain't descend from an African here? You? Okay. You back there, brother?
We all from Africa, guys.
Thank you. Alright, let's move forward, man. Let's move forward. Now, did you know that the UN actually had a General Assembly to decide who the hell these black people are in America? Did you know that?
No.
Did you turn on the news one day and see this on C-SPAN or see this on CNN or something like that?
No, ain't no local.
And you know that this happened because Pan-Africanists lobbied. How many of y'all have actually lobbied at the UN before? Raise your hands. Damn. All right. Well, people on your behalf, and you got the vicarious victory, went and lobbied at the UN, so them Negroes is like, yo, we gotta do something about this problem. They ain't going nowhere. Okay, so they had a General Assembly, December 1st, 2014, it says, recalling its resolution on December 21st, by which it proclaimed the International Decade for People of African Consent, commencing on January 1st, 2013, and ending on December 31st, 2024. They actually have a 10-year program on improving the black community and those of African descent. Did y'all know that? No. Damn, that's crazy, right? It says it's cognizant of Resolution 62-122 on December 17, 2007. It says by which it designated March 25th as the International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery in the Transatlantic Slave Trade. Did you know they had a day for us? We're not even taught this. They made a day for us. And none of us here went and lobbied for it. Somebody put in that work. Somebody put that work in on our behalf. There's Africans all over here in America that's actually doing stuff behind the scenes. Alright. It says they're committed to upholding human dignity and equality for victims of slavery, the slave trade, colonialism, in particular people of African descent and the African diaspora. So when they did that precedent for the UN Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People, they also label us as one of those indigenous people and they call us African descent. And we have all the privileges to all those articles that I showed you earlier. Did y'all know that? Yeah. Y'all didn't even know this. Y'all was going to invest people somewhere when they was doing this. But now y'all know. If you're going to repair your situation, take advantage of what's out there for y'all. Because now this allows you to open up your own institutions that they cannot infringe upon. This allows you to regurgitate, to revitalize, the languages that we used to speak, what we teach our kids, our education, even protecting ourselves, armed-wise, so we can police our communities. I don't know how profound, maybe some of y'all are blown away by it, maybe some of y'all are sleeping, I don't know, but this is something that everybody here can apply to and appeal to and get everything that you need to get started. All you have to do is research is look this up, all right? So I'm gonna rush through this. I'm gonna rush through this, I'm a long time. Oh yeah, let me show y'all, look at this. They even got precedents in the name of justice. Introducing measures to ensure equality before the law, notably the enjoyment of right to equal treatment before the tribunals and all the organs administering justice. Ensuring the people of African descent have full access to effective protection and remedies. Effective protection. That's your right to bear arms.
That's right.
Now y'all not listening to what I'm saying here. It says adopt an effective and appropriate measures, including legal measures as appropriate to combat all acts of racism. Preventing and punishing all human rights violators or violations affecting people of African descent. So we can shut down and kill them in the streets. We ain't gotta raise our hands up. All we gotta do is arm ourselves, go to the UN, and say we're all appealing to this African descent thing, and y'all need to get the hell out of our communities. And this international law goes above the state and the federal government. Damn, man, this is black power right here. We ain't taking advantage of that. Let's move forward, y'all. They also, education, they allow you to educate yourself and your children. Did you know, they'll tell you, oh, you shouldn't homeschool your child, homeschool. Did you know that homeschooling produces more children that are more equipped to pass the test of high schoolers? I know 12 people that do homeschooling, all their kids is 3 grades further than all the kids their age. Homeschooling. Right. Alright? They also protect your right to employment. That's why you don't check black. They want you to check black, they give you a hard time. But if you type in other African descent as per UN resolutions also, they gotta look at that and go, damn, okay. We gotta treat this person differently. Because the foreigners that's coming over here, they're taking advantage of that because they're a refugee. That's why they're getting the programs. You're a refugee in your own homeland. Well, it's not really your homeland, it's your child land that way. But we can appeal to this family health too, housing. We just heard of all of these brothers lecture about health. We're protected to do that, and they can't infringe upon that. Housing. Come on, family. This is good stuff, but let's move forward. They did another resolution, which adopted the Human Rights Council on the 2nd of October. It goes on this up to prepare and disseminate information on issues related to people of African descent, to raise awareness and promote integration and coordination of activities related to people of African descent within the United Nations. You can actually go to the United Nations after appealing to this act and represent yourself as a person of African descent and entitled to all of the privileges that every other nation that goes there gets. Did you know that? Damn. Alright. Y'all don't believe me? Go back to your research, and then you go to the UN after you do everything. Because again, when you read these resolutions, they actually tell you step by step how you can apply for that. And then once you get all of that certified, you go to the UN and try it out.
That's right.
But we scared. We scared. You can't have no fear, man. You can't have no fear. If you have fear, then none of this is going to work. So to remind y'all of the slave trade, take a look up there. See that? Look at that. Deportation flows 15th, 16th centuries. S.T.E.A.M.S, which is one of the major sites of it, started with their people dealing with the Portuguese. Look how many people went over there, 400,000. Did you know that there's more people of African descent in Brazil than in America? Yeah. How many of y'all knew that? We ought to reach out to our brothers and sisters over there. And they African. Alright. Look up here, 17th century, they started moving along the western coast of Ghana and Congo. And then in the 18th century, they went heavy. And Angola, Luanda, Calabar, Guinea, it took 7 million. 7 million. And look where they went. Caribbean islands. That's crazy. Look at that. 7 million. So you got here almost 1 million. Here, over 3 million. Here, 7 million. Over here, another 2 and 2 million. That's 4. You know what I mean? This is almost 50 million people, man. This is crazy. This is crazy. And now they actually recognize and say, damn, we messed up. So what we're going to do is give you a remedy and recourse. We're going to tuck it away and see if y'all look for it. See if y'all don't find it.
Nope.
Takes people like me and other leaders that have to go and do this homework for y'all.
Thank you,
You want to say something, my brother?
Yeah. I ain't trying to bust your bubble, but you know the majority of us was already in North America and South America. But it's like when Columbus came to Haiti, some people was already black. They didn't like, he didn't kill everybody and went to Africa and brought black people to Africa. We was already here. This is something you're not identifying. I understand that.
Okay.
Hold up.
Hello.
I understand your UN resolution, but we are Aboriginal black people.
Okay, I'm not disputing that.
That's a fact. You acting like, you know, it's like majority of the slave shit stories we've been hearing, it's a myth.
It's a myth.
Majority of it.
Oh, okay, brother. Okay, no, wait, brother. I'm lecturing, brother. I hear you. We can build on this after we done. No problem. And I am giving the proper information, but I can't speak on every particular situation, my brother. I'm just speaking this because if it works for you, fine. If it doesn't, no problem.
I'm just saying fact.
Okay, and I'm not arguing with you, my brother. I'm not arguing. I'm just giving additional tools to people who can benefit from this. All right? I was respectful. I let the brother talk, but all right, I'm gonna go. All right, thank you. No problem. I appreciate that, But the myth thing. All right, that's cool. Let me move forward. Let me move forward. All right, you see this?
Code, brother. Practice the code, man.
You see this?
It look like some myths, man.
Hey, I'm just saying. This is crazy because this is their documentation on what they did with us. We didn't write this.
Right.
All right, let's move forward. I'm gonna move forward. International Day of Remembrance of the Victims of Slavery and the Transatlantic Slave Trade. They actually have a special day for us. And 10 years where they're trying to improve our conditions. But we have to appeal to it to get the benefits. Let's move forward. All right? A model. What's that? What?
What state is that? Don't speed master. We want to get that info.
Which one are you talking about, Inky?
Right there.
This?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the International Day of Remembrance. I just said it, March 25th. I said it earlier. Was you paying attention, Inky?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I said it earlier. They made a day for us, and to the point where they created articles on slavery that they're teaching at the UN about us. So they don't forget the atrocities they did to us. Okay, let's move forward. How many of you have designated a day to teach your kids about slavery, or how many of you do it every day? Never forget that. Ever forget that. All right. I'm going to move forward because, actually, I'll look at this. Marcus Garvey created the Black Star Line. Were y'all aware of the Black Star Line?
Yeah.
He used that as a black-owned business to ship products from the U.S. to Africa to the Caribbean. All right? He did this out of his own funding from the UNIA. He didn't go to nobody and ask, hey, master, can you give me some money? He didn't do that. He had a dream and a vision and made it happen. That's power. That's power. That's the remembrance of this person right here. So in this article here, it said the formation of the Black Star Line was Garvey's opening shine in his battle to achieve black economic independence. It says here, to Garvey, the Black Star Line was far from the shipping company. It embodied within the struggle for black rights because black employees and customers were discriminated against in the white-dominated business world. Their only hope for winning economic security was to found and patronize their own stores and companies.
Right.
Let me move forward. I'm running a long time. I wanted to get into this, but I'm gonna have to rush through it. But I was trying to give y'all a plan of commerce that you can enact. Oh, dude, you sure? I got time, y'all? All right, hold up. Establish a plan of commerce. If you appeal to all the things I showed you earlier, you're allowed to do this according to UN law, and they can't do nothing about it. We need a body politic. We need to create something that we all can agree on. And again, since it's already been decided from us, and most of us here from African descent, let's appeal to African descent. And then once we get established as a nation, then we can argue about all the small things afterwards. Can we at least do that?
All right.
All right. You see, you still got fringes on, very black and green, and I'm talking about African descent. I ain't arguing. That's real black power. All right, let's move forward, right? The purpose of the organization of body politic is because, as is listed in the resolution from the UN on African descent and the UN Declaration on Indigenous People, they allow us to create our own body politic, but we have to create a flag. Something we can all agree upon. We can do that. We got one. Red, black, and green. Oh, come on, y'all. Let's move forward, right? That's to ensure the internal governments of all parties involved and for self-enforcement of our policies, procedures, and the liabilities that we can create within our own communities. We have our flag up, African descent, and the UN has to recognize it to the point that the state and the feds have to back off. What's that? Leave them Negroes alone. And that just gives us time, buying time, to get ourselves built up as a true nation, where we can secure and protect everything that we have, man. All right? Create a social charter. How many of y'all know what a charter is in here? Y'all got businesses, you should have a charter that has laws and bylaws and how things are set up. We need a charter for our body politic, move forward. Establish an indigenous trust fund. How many of y'all know about susus in here? You know about susus, right? My Caribbean brothers and sisters, y'all should know about that. All right? We can create a trust fund of our own. We don't have to go to the bank to create one. All those international laws allow us to create our own trust fund.
That's right.
All right, let's move forward. We have to create a membership registration program with a logo or a card as an incentive to promote black business interactions. And when you create this program, you make a little logo, you put this card for every vendor that's a black-owned business because you want to give incentives to work and buy from each other. Because if there's no incentive, we're going to go back and start shopping at these other white stores, the Arab stores, the Asian stores. What is the incentive? If I buy something from her or from him, what is the incentive? Okay, I bought it, it sounds nice, it looks good, all right, I use it. Then afterwards, we cast it aside, we go back to Walmart, we go somewhere else. But how about we have a program, a membership program, with a card or logo, and what it can do, give you benefits such as assurance of free enterprise. That means you don't have to be leaned upon by taxes and regulations because as an African, he said, by the UN, you can do this stuff on your own.
That's right.
Free enterprise, that's what we had in Africa. Okay. Regulatory board, we can take a percentage of that trust fund and put it toward the regulatory board because we don't have no better business bureau for black businesses. Why are we not organized like that? Yo, these black businesses, what if somebody feels that they were slighted? Who's going to look over that situation? What regulatory board do we got? We don't got none. We need to create one. Because with this card, now there's an issue, you can go before the regulatory board. That's black owned. And get it resolved in an indigenous African way. Okay, insurance board. Something is lost, broken, or stolen, who are you going to go to get a stipend for it? Who are you going to go to? We don't have that. We need to create that, and now we can, family in your own community. Insurance board, I said that. Hard assets investments, that means we can also take the funds that we use, the paper, and we can turn it to hard assets. The best hard asset you can get is a precious metals portfolio, which means that you can purchase the Ringo and actually make people like Marcus Garvey on it. And that will be backed by the products that you have and the dollars that you have, so you have hard assets when things actually get hard. You got hard assets. Silver and gold, that's not going nowhere. And you know what? When it's minted with our characters, our ancestors, white people ain't gonna want to touch that. But we have the right to circulate that within our own community, be our currency, to work with one another. Are y'all feeling me, family? I'm trying to get y'all to family, family. We also need to establish that banking firm to dispense small loans. A lot of us in here want to start small businesses, but we ain't got no money. But if the people who are part of this program are giving a particular percentage to this program, now we can also hire people to work on a banking firm where they can scrutinize people who's qualified by indigenous African standards. Go ahead, make sure we're going to give you this loan, you want to put it back into the community.
Thank you.
You can patronize people outside of our race, but once you get their money, you need to come back and support the events. Now we have a program that we can set up based on the UN Declaration or resolution to protect us as African descent. We can actually do something. I'm not here trying to make you feel good with information. I'm giving you tools you can go start tomorrow. Alright, let's move on. Let's rush through. African language courses that you can also set up. Again, that's also protected. Language is very important. Arts, music. You know how many people who live in communities here where they take out all the art programs and music programs? Because your art and music ties you to your culture. Language ties you to your culture. They take it out your community systematically. Why do you think all these kids growing up in this generation are acting the way they do? There's no outlet. The black mind is powerful. If you don't feed it the right stuff, it's going to eat garbage. And it's going to do garbage. Alright, let me rush forward. How much time I got left? Oh man, you're really talking. Alright, I didn't want to take away nobody else's time, so if y'all alright, I can keep going.
Keep going, man.
Oh, okay, cool. Alright, let's get it. Alright. Create community programs. So we need to focus on creating home birth courses. How many of you go to home birth courses? How many of you actually had home births? But we African, right? But we African, right?
Right.
Alright, then we need to focus on that. Homeschooling. How many of you are homeschooling? Did you know that with that resolution, you can get resources and funds for your homeschooling program? You didn't know that. I know you didn't know that. Because I didn't even know that, so I researched this, you know what I'm saying? Nobody came to me and said, brother, here's a plan. I had to sit there and labor hard to figure out what can we do to fix our community. Are you feeling me? So if you want homeschooling, home birth centers, you can get the funding and the support to do that. Alright. You have to create community programs. We have veterans who are on the street homeless, who are black veterans that go and fight in Iraq and Afghanistan, come back home and get denied. And then they end up on the street. You know how many black veterans I bump into all the time in New York City and Atlanta? And just see them on the street? I decided to create a program called the Veteran Recyclable Skills Program. All these veterans have skill sets in their mind that is not being put into action. Why do you think the Black Panthers were so damn powerful? The veterans that was coming home needed something to do because they were being denied. They joined the Black Panthers and brought their skill set there. That's why we were so damn organized. So why are we not doing this with the veterans in our own communities? Well, we can be well allowed to do that thing. Home improvement programs, you know what they say about electricity? You can create your own electricity. Solar panels is just one. Inky talked about something before in regards to copper. There's several ways that you can create your own electricity. Water system and filtration systems, so we can capture our own water, filter it, and use it in our community, so you don't have to pay nobody. Did you know you're allowed to do all of this stuff with all the information I just gave you so far?
Yes.
Okay. Land purchase, earthships. If you don't know what that is, research that. Community safety enforcement programs. Our own police center for our community that we can do, and that's protected by the UN. Okay. Invest in our own manufacturing factory. We don't have no factories. We have clothes that we buy, and what we do is we sell stuff on those clothes, but there's no supply factory. We're in Detroit. When we was driving around, you know how many factories I saw that was closed? Yep. You know what I did before I got here? I made a few phone calls to a couple of real estate places, and you know what they say some of these old factories are? A couple $1,000. You think they're gonna tell you that?
No.
You're gonna walk by and see it, it's so big, damn, you know. Alright, keep it moving. No, you call and inquire, you know how much that joint is. Oh, $3,000, all these vendors can put that money aside every month and buy that damn factory and get it popping.
Yeah.
And get it popping. Alright, I'm just saying, invest in our own bus or airline company. We can create that. We talk about we have a brilliant black mind, how come we ain't got an airplane? Oh, you know, brother, so many regulatories. My brother, I just showed you a human resolution that gives you the right to do everything that you want to do. If you do it appropriately, you have to have a righteous mind about this. And it has to be for the benefit, not you, your children. Because if we got to travel to Africa, what if they shut down ports? What if they close the airline company? What are we going to do? You're going to swim to Africa? Yes. How many of y'all going to swim to Africa? So we have to have a bus, airline, or a ship. This is what Marcus Garvey envisioned. And we're not even doing nothing about that. But now we can get the resources necessary in order to get that done. Are y'all feeling me? Yeah. All right, let me rush through this. I really don't want to be... Now, Pan-Africanism. Very important. It's an ideology, and it's funny. Look where I got it from. Because I saw so many definitions. I was like, damn, man. These white people got it on point. They studying us. It says it's an ideology and movement that encourages the solidarity of Africans worldwide. It is based on the belief that unity is vital to economic, social, and political progress and aims to unify and uplift people of what?
African descent.
You think they put that there by accident?
No.
They put codes in there, brother. When I saw this on Wikipedia, I went back and researched what the hell is African descent. That brought me to the UN resolution, my brother. Alright. I'm telling you, y'all, there's some of us out there that actually put in the work to lobby to get them to recognize us, all right? Solidarity is a unity or agreement of feeling or action, especially among individuals with a common interest, mutual support within a group. So how are we going to say we black power, but none of us is reaching over to anybody overseas in Africa and working with them? How many black businesses doing business with other black businesses in Africa? Raise your hand. Oh, we got a couple of y'all here. That should be the ultimate priority. It should be. Because Pan-African means anybody that's African anywhere, you should be supporting them. You should be encouraging and empowering them. Let me show you how powerful Pan-Africanism is. Let me show you. If I can get through this, I'm going to show you how powerful it is. It's not just some idea. I'm going to show you how it really works in the real world. Watch this. Well, what magazine is that?
Ebony.
Did they shut Ebony down? Did they? I heard some rumors that they shut Ebony down. I don't know. This was popular? When's the last time y'all seen Ebony magazine? Well, yo, what's the case? I think so. I think so, because they shut it down for a moment and I think they brought it back. But let me show y'all. Damn. All right, I got 2 minutes, y'all. All right, let me see how much we get to this. All right. The Ebony magazine, this is from 1976, 7. And the stuff that they was talking about in the Ebony magazine, they said, here, there comes a moment in the affairs of mankind, let me go for it. In the affairs of mankind, when honor requires an unequivocal affirmation of a people's right to freedom with dignity, peace, and justice. This is such a moment that in transitions of white settlers in Zimbabwe and Namibia and the bloody repression of blacks in South Africa have created explosive environments which threaten world peace and raise the spectra of an internationalized anti-colonial war which could have an ominous impact on race relationships in America and abroad. Now, the reason why I'm showing you this is because when they wrote this article, did you know what the people did? Not just with Ebony, but what they got people in the community to do? Go to the UN and tell them that if y'all don't get involved in the struggle in Africa, you're going to have some problems with us. That's what Pan-African does. You don't just recognize people you see here, won't you? Y'all go back and look this magazine up. Ebony, December 1976. Read the article, I don't have time, but they actually outline various things that they demanded the UN to do or they're going to have a problem here in America. And did you know? So years later, apartheid was ended. That was because of us here. Are y'all following me? That's because of us here. That's the power we had in 76. They don't put articles like this no more in Ebony. Do you get it in the source? No. What's the last time you read that XXL? Raise your hand. Okay, I thought it was only one bucket out. Homeland, okay, I'm not going to be able to get through a lot of this, but Marcus Garvey kept talking about going to Africa. Let Africa be our guiding star. He says, our success, education, industrial, and politically is based upon the protection of a nation founded by ourselves. And the nation can be nowhere else but in Africa. He says also, Africa for the Africans at home and abroad. He goes on and says, Africa has become the big game of the nation hunters. Africa looms as the greatest commercial, industrial, and political prize in the world. But yet, and still, a lot of us are not even thinking about going to Africa, living in Africa, and even helping Africans. In Africa. Not just here, the ones that come over here, but actually in Africa. To the point where we're going to all these federal agencies, these international agencies that, yo, you don't fix going to Africa, you're going to have a problem with us. We're not gangster like that no more. I know some of us, they get strong, passionate, but why are we not taking this fight to the damn UN? They have the IMF. The IMF is destroying the hell out of Africa right now. If you don't know that, go ahead and research that. Alright? Keep talking about Africa. So I'm gonna end on this. Y'all go back and study Liberia, because a person told me, how is repatriation gonna work? How are we gonna go back when we tried that with Liberia? You know why it didn't work with Liberia? Because the ACS, which was a Christian white organization, were the ones that wanted to get rid of the free blacks in America, because they will cause the other blacks who are enslaved to rise up and say, damn, we gotta send these niggas somewhere. We send them the hell out of here, then we can keep our slaves. But the reason why the slave revolts happened the way they did is there were so many damn free blacks in America who were getting free through manumission and other sources. The slaves heard of this and said, oh damn, we got a way to get free. So let's do it by any damn means necessary. But if you take all the damn free blacks out, send them over to Liberia, you ain't gonna hear these stories no more. They're not going to get any support from the free blacks that are locally here, so they sent them to Liberia. It didn't work out because the Americans that were going over there had a Western mind. They didn't know nothing about African language and culture and customs and respect and tradition and economics and politics. This is why when you create domestic reparations, you have to train your children about all of these things and idea about anything African-minded, centered, or focused. You cannot help the continent of Africa. You cannot help yourselves. You need to get this damn white demon out of your soul. This is why they work, because they got there, it was like, damn, you know, there's no skyscrapers. Damn, you know, we didn't have this convenience, we didn't have that convenience. You know, it's so hard because how many of y'all have ever had a trip to let's say, to a log cabin and stay there for like a week or 2 weeks? How many of y'all, if we all went out there, how many of y'all you think than over here. We had an opportunity to have free land, free housing, free resources, off the grid. How many of y'all think the percentage would be of us running back here to live in America? Small. So I'm gonna end up with this. So Pan-Africanism was so powerful, because I didn't get into this, but I'm gonna do a part 2 at another time so you can actually watch it online. Pan-Africanism was so powerful that Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, S.T.E.A.M.S, the Black Power, all of these movements inspired Africans in Africa to set up the African Union. I have an article in here from the African Union saying the reason why we established the African Union is because of the Pan-Africanist ancestors who lobbied in America for us to get our independence here in Africa. So they created a system that if you repatriate back to Africa, and the best place to go is Ghana as a start, that the American Union has a program for those of that African diaspora where they will throw you resources to set up shop any place you are in Africa. Based on Pan-Africanism that we did here, Marcus Garvey did, everybody else did here in America. Yes, my brother.
With the fall in the stock market today, how can we depend on the American military when they're really not running out of money and focus on our people pushing more money towards us?
Gotcha. We'll discuss that later, but remember I showed you before? I told you that you can get your own hard assets. You can purchase your own silver and gold, and I have a lot, and mint whatever the hell you want on it. So it doesn't matter what happens to the American dollar, because when you take silver and go to Africa, they're going to do everything you want them to do, because it helps to economically empower them. But if you go ahead and research the UN, the African diaspora, there's committees on the African diaspora that when you go to Africa, and you go to live in Africa, who here has heard of the Manifest in Ghana? Or Emancipation Day in Ghana? You ever heard of that? How many of y'all went to that? Did you know that when you go there, they teach you African culture and history, and teach you about the crimes of transatlantic slave trade, where they are apologizing to you, treat you like kings and queens, because they're welcoming you back home, because they acknowledge their fault in assisting with the African slave trade. They're welcoming you home. And when you get there, they give you a whole bunch of resources if you appeal to the African Diaspora Committee from the African Union. Everything works together, my brothers and sisters. This is not a damn game. So we can make things happen. I'm not just talking rhetoric. I'm giving you things that are documented that you can go back and research for yourself. Look up the African Union with Pan-Africanism, African Union, Global Diaspora Committee, and you'll see all the resources you have to repatriate if that's what you want to do. With that, I say stay shalom, peace, and black power. Give a brother a hand, please. Brother, Divine Prospect. That was an amazing presentation. Yes, don't mind standing up, give that brother ovation. He definitely gave you some solutions. Okay?